Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Hope you're all doing very, very well this day after Boxing Day. Christmas is still with us. It should be still with us. It is still with us. That's good to see. So we'll be talking about Manchester United's result against Huddersfield, tactically bringing the heat maps in, talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and how he's got the best out of Paul Pogba. But I just want to bring in at this point, I've just seen something absolutely ridiculous. Simon Jordan, who is the ex-owner of Crystal Palace, saying that anybody with a brain could have achieved what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has achieved at Manchester United over the last couple of games. It's just the typical nonsense shit you get on Talk Sport, to be honest with you. That anybody could come in and do this. Jose Mourinho, whatever you say about Jose Mourinho, his Wikipedia page is brilliant and he failed at Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer deserves a lot of credit, and there was one bit of the game that I absolutely loved about yesterday, and that was when he took Fred and Delo off, which a lot of us like Fred and Delo, but Mourinho's destroyed those two players. Their fitness levels are nowhere near good enough, and they're going to need a little bit of time to work their way in. And I think Solskjaer saw the threat. He saw the threat from Huddersfield, as sad as it is, because we're at home, we're 1-0 up. He saw the threat and he went, right, Herrera, Young, get on. Realistically, I'd like to get Pereira and Gomez on and give the home crowd something, but I need to win this game. Get on the pitch, win us the game, and we'll do that in another time. And I loved that from Solskjaer. But I also want to talk about the top four and whether we can get top four. I mean, look, we can catch Arsenal. We can catch Arsenal. I think we're 6 points off Arsenal. A week ago, we were 11 points off Arsenal. So we've halved that in a week. We'll catch Arsenal. Catching Arsenal's easy. They're shitting themselves. Catching Arsenal's like catching a rabbit. Just follow the little pellets from its arse and we'll find their hole and we'll dig them out and we'll take it. So that's what's going to happen with Arsenal. We will catch Arsenal, but Arsenal are fifth. We're looking at top four. We're looking at Chelsea. We're looking at Spurs, Man City, Liverpool. Three of those I don't think we can catch. We can catch Chelsea. We'll go through their fixtures in a moment. But let's talk about Manchester United first. Let's talk about the tactics of yesterday and how Manchester United did what they achieved in a game that I think many of us expected to win, but how the expectations are changing so very, very quickly. Tox Kazim says we will get top four. I think that is something you need to be very, very, very careful of. Very, very careful of, because you put in expectations on something that I believe is very, very hard. But I would like it. Anology. A7. I was very drunk yesterday on the watch along for those who watched it. I'm feeling a bit rough today, but we will have an 8 o'clock show as well. So, this is United's average positions from yesterday, as you can see here. And the defensive line is very, very high. Very, very high. I mean, Jones and Lingard, their average heat maps were in this area here, well into the opposition's half, which is what you would expect from a home game against Huddersfield when they've lost 5 on the bounce. Luke Shaw's heat map was very much this area here, very, very strong there. But interestingly, we had no Martial yesterday, sickness. We've got no Sanchez, so we had no left-sided player, so we had to play Jesse Lingard. Now, Jesse Lingard did a good job in trying to emulate what Martial does, which is this heat map here, which allows Pogba's heat map to be here, which is actually, that's probably wrong. Pogba's heat map was more this. It was very much in their half. And Lingard was like this, but he did wander into these areas a little bit. Not as much as Alexis Sanchez does, which stops Pogba like it did for the last 8 months, but he did wander there a bit, whereas Martial would exclusively stay there. But I thought Lingard did an okay job. It was an average performance from Lingard. Obviously, Pogba's was fantastic. Mata did actually stay a little bit more right. He didn't come in as central as much as Lingard does when he plays on that right-hand side. And obviously, Herrera, Fred sort of operated in that position. Mata sweeping up. Young, which was Delo, obviously he came through there. But the big performance again was Paul Pogba. And again, in this position here, where he's the figurehead of the midfield three. He does do the working back. He does put himself about a bit, but it's what he does in these areas. He wants the ball in these areas. He wants to shoot in these areas. He wants to make things happen in these areas, which is why it's very important that the left-hand sided player does stay left. They have to stay left. And if Sanchez comes into this team, I think Sanchez is going to have to go there or there. Because if you put Sanchez where Lingard is, he's going to wander into Pogba's position, and that's not good. We're getting the best out of Paul Pogba, and Solskjaer is getting the best out of Paul Pogba because he's doing something which we've been on about for a long time. The left-sided player's got to stay to the left, and Pogba's got to be given licence to own this area of the pitch. Left-hand side, centre attacking midfielder, let him get into that bit. And do what he did yesterday. I mean, Pogba's performance yesterday wasn't as good as the Cardiff performance. The Cardiff performance, although it was only Cardiff, it was complete. It was a complete performance. Yesterday, his first half was divisive. His second half was very good. But it was a very good performance and consistency was there. And as we go into the game against Bournemouth and Newcastle, if we can get that consistency from Paul Pogba, that is what we want. Simplistically, what has Ole Gunnar Solskjaer done to get the best out of Paul Pogba? He's built his team around him in the attacking sense, but more importantly, he's built his midfield around him. He's allowed Pogba to have the licence that Matic will basically be a defender and Herrera or Fred will be the box-to-box. Pogba's box-to-box with not so much on the defensive side of things. Then you've got Matic, who's a born-again footballer. You know, I think for the last 8 months under Mourinho, although they were best mates, he was a very bad footballer. Whereas now, he's patrolling that area, which he can do. But also when he gets the ball, he's feeding it a lot quicker. And that's speeding up United. I think yet again, United did fade in the second half. Huddersfield came into the game more. Their fitness levels are better than ours. We're going to struggle with that for the next month. Solskjaer's got to get this team fit because we're not fit, 90-minute fit. We're not. We're really not. We don't know how to press for 90 minutes. We can't be intense for 90 minutes. It's not the players' fault. It's the previous regime's fault. Sit back, pragmatic. Solskjaer wants to go on the front foot. And when we do it, we're very good. But doing it for 90 minutes, we need to get those fitness levels up quick. And that's why he needs to use the wider squad, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, Pogba, in a sentence, why is Solskjaer getting the best out of Pogba? It's basically man management. It's very, very simple. And that's why it's really derogatory for somebody to say anyone with half a brain could come in and do what Solskjaer's done. That there's this tactical change that is so evident to anybody who knows anything about football. This press, this moving of the football, the intensity is so abundantly clear to the pragmatic sit back and don't press that Mourinho had us under. But coupled with that, you can have an exciting philosophy with your football, but your man management skills, to have those two in tandem is making a massive difference at Manchester United. There's a feel-good factor. I don't think some of these players had a problem with Mourinho personally. Some did, but I don't think a lot of them did. But I don't think they liked the football. I think under Ole, they've got somebody who he can speak to anybody. He will call Luke Shaw in the office and say, what's going wrong? As he's going out, he brings Pogba in, maybe he puts his cap on, they put a bit of music on, they have a dance, Solskjaer. And then he brings in Matic and maybe they play a bit of chess, In Phil Jones comes in, they just get the band-aids out. But I think Solskjaer knows how to, because he's been part of a very successful dressing room. And you think about the team Solskjaer was a part of. Roy Keane was part of it, Gary Neville, but then you've got Andy Cole and Dwight York. Teddy Sheringham didn't get on with Andy Cole. You've got people like Paul Scholes, Nicky Butt, Ryan Giggs. Yap Stam, very, very different personalities, and Solskjaer will know that, and he'll also know a manager who dealt with all that very, very well. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a man manager. He knows he wants to speak to his players, he wants to make them feel good, and he will speak to them on a level, and that's what's happened with this squad. And it is, in some ways, it is very, very basic, but not every manager can do that, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got a philosophy, which is fantastic, but also what he's doing off the pitch is very different to what his philosophy is. His philosophy for his football, we'll see. What he's doing with the man management, we won't see, but we will see the benefits. I mean, him and Pogba will get on very, very well. Him and Lingard will get on very well. Him and Rashford will get on very well. When Lukaku comes back, he'll get on with him. It's not only about falling out with players, which maybe with Jose it was. If somebody wasn't doing what he wanted, maybe they got the silent treatment. I think Solskjaer, whether Lukaku's going to be a first teamer or not, I still think there'll be the one-to-one situations. This is what I want you to do. This is what you can do to get in my team. We're all working together. It's a very different management style. It's a more positive management style, and it's about catering for all the individual personalities you've got. And that's what we're seeing with Paul Pogba. And Paul Pogba will have a bad performance. I guarantee Pogba will have a bad performance in the next few weeks, and the bandwagon people will jump off again and say, I can't stand him. It's unrealistic. Manchester United will have a bad performance. I worry about when it's going to be. We will have a bad performance because it's unrealistic to expect us to just win. We've still got problems. Let's look at the league table and let's look at where Liverpool are at the moment, because that is a harsh reality bite. They are 6 points clear of the top of the league and they are 19 points clear of us. And there is a very realistic chance that Liverpool will win the league. We need to stop worrying about that. Well, we will worry about it because they're our biggest rivals, and Liverpool fans can be on our live comments, they can get the salt out and they can rub it in our wounds. Those wounds are healing, but they're still going to sting. The Liverpool thing, if they win the league, has got nothing to do with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's coming in and he's doing a good job. If Liverpool win the league, it happened on Mourinho's watch. We went to Anfield, we gifted them 3 points. We've not been good enough to get close to them. We can't rely on Man City and Spurs because we're Manchester United fans. We can hope that Man City and Spurs can pull it back. But if Liverpool win the league, they'll win the league because they bloody deserve it. And maybe that'll be a reality bite for United, because I love what Solskjaer is doing at Manchester United, but it's a band-aid. And he may be able to heal the world. But it's still a band-aid at the moment, because 10 days ago, Mourinho was in charge and we lost to Liverpool at Anfield and we were in a bloody mess. Solskjaer's come in and done great things, but there's still going to be problems in that club that he can't solve. there are still problems beyond Mourinho, whether that's up above or down below. There are still problems within that club that are going to need aggressive, ruthless work. Solskjaer can't turn this squad into Champions League winners and title winners. I don't think it's good enough. He's going to need financial backing, he's going to need backing to remove certain players, and he's going to need patience. Or the next manager's going to need that. We're a long way off people like Liverpool, and it's right that we moan about it, but it's also right that we do keep moaning about it, because this club needs more than Solskjaer. Solskjaer is a very, very significant first step, but there's a lot more first steps that need to come to make Manchester United great again. I mean, to be honest with you, we're lucky that we've had Cardiff and Huddersfield. David De Gea made a fantastic save yesterday. It was world class at 1-0. Huddersfield didn't deserve anything from the game, but a better team I still think would beat us, even with Solskjaer. I think if Spurs roll into town now, or City or Liverpool, they'll beat us. Even with the positivity of Solskjaer, we're on a journey, and the fixtures we've got are quite fortuitous, because we are on a journey, and hopefully by the time we play some of them better teams, we'll be a better team for it. But it's time, and it's patience that is needed. Let's have a look at the Premier League title relevant to us then. Premier League at the moment. We're on 32 points. We've got some breathing space for the first time this season. We've got some positive goal difference. We're +6. A week ago, we were minus. We're 4 points clear of 7. We've not had that for a long time. It's always been, if they beat us tomorrow, we're down to 7th. So we're 4 points clear of 7th, which is Leicester. So we're comfortably into that 6th position, which is progress, as horrible as it sounds. We are only 6 points off Arsenal now, but they've got a 10 better goal difference than us. We are 8 points off Chelsea, and they've got a 15 goal difference. So effectively, it's 9 points. It's 3 wins. Arsenal, I'm not concerned about, because they're playing Liverpool at the weekend, and if we beat Bournemouth, I think we'll be even closer to Arsenal, maybe 4, maybe 3 points off them. But Chelsea's fixtures, they do worry me a little bit. They worry me a little bit, because they've got Crystal Palace away on Sunday lunchtime. We could really do with Palace getting something out of that. 8 points behind Chelsea we are. And then as we go into January, they've got Chelsea, Southampton. You'd expect them to win that. Then it's the cup games. Then they've got Newcastle at home when we're playing Spurs, so that's tough for us. Then they've got Arsenal, which is a big game. Then they've got Spurs, which is a big game. And then they've got Bournemouth away. So I think the end of January for Chelsea looks interesting. They've got to go to Arsenal, which is a massive game. We could probably do with Arsenal picking up points there. Then, sorry, they haven't got Spurs. That's the League Cup. Then they've got to go away to Bournemouth, where I'd hope Bournemouth would find some form. And then Huddersfield, but then they've got Man City. So they've got to run it. I think Chelsea's going to be a long-term thing for Manchester United to try and catch. And we can't afford any slips. That's what I want to say. We know what our fixtures are coming up. We know that they're winnable games. We know going into the back end of January after Spurs, we've got Fulham away. They're winnable games, but we can't slip up. We can't really afford to draw. And that is a pressure. But I do think we can get top 4, but I think it's going to be a lot harder than people want to admit. But we've just got to keep doing what we're doing. It's a massive challenge, though. It's a massive challenge, and I just want everyone to appreciate that it is a massive challenge for United to do it. But we're gonna do bits. We're gonna do bits in the transfer window as well, which is going to be significant to how much. And I'm going to be talking about that on the 8 o'clock show tonight, because there are some indications about what we're going to do. But that would bring us some positivity as well. I mean, I still don't like Phil Jones in the team. I don't. I know he's done okay in the last 2 games, but you can't say, well, Pogba, let's not get too excited because it's Cardiff and Huddersfield, and then start saying, well, Phil Jones has been a revelation, because again, it's Cardiff and Huddersfield, isn't it? I mean, look, we really could do with Crystal Palace doing us a favour on Sunday against Chelsea before we play at 4 o'clock. But yeah, we'll see. Next manager, says Philip Targay. I just want to take some of your questions, because yesterday I was too drunk to do it. Why did I leave your group chat, GBMX? I haven't got time for group chats. That's the honest thing. I don't do group chats on Twitter and stuff. So if you put me in it, I'll just leave. It's nothing against you. I just haven't got time for it to be messing up my DMs. So that's why I left it. So I'm sorry for that, but I haven't got the time for it. And it'd be very unfair for me to go into an exclusive group chat with 5 or 6 of you when there's loads of people who'd like me to be in a group chat with them. So that's why I do it. Current Manchester United manager. My thoughts on haven't changed. I think that I like the fact that the club are linked with Pochettino and Zidane. For me, I'm very happy about that. But if Solskjaer can pull off the magic, the miracle, then I would back Solskjaer. But there's a long way to go yet. And there is still some. I read yesterday the same bloody journalist from Manchester Evening News. I don't even shout his name out anymore. He's so bitter. He got name checked by Mourinho in a press conference, and then he went and resided up his anus. And now, ever since then, he's begrudgingly saying, it just annoys me when people are like, yeah, Pogba's playing really well, but it's abundantly clear that he downed tools for Mourinho. And it's like, move on. Move on, you rubbernecker. If there's a crash on the side of the road, why look at it? Move on. Get on with your bloody life. Why are we still going on about Mourinho and Pogba? We're benefiting. Manchester United are benefiting from Mourinho getting the sack. He was the wrong manager, and now we're getting the real Pogba. We're benefiting from that change. So why are we still harking back to that? It's a negative. I don't mind harking back to Mourinho when we're talking about the positive, because, yeah, there is a massive positive. And I think the fitness levels are relevant, because when we're fading in the last half an hour of games at the moment, that's because we're putting in so much effort, which we're not used to. But going on about, Pogba clearly down tools. Have you been living in Pogba's head then? Were you there when Pogba was playing for United under Mourinho? And was Pogba's head saying, yeah, I'm downing tools? It's a ridiculously offensive thing to say about a player. They were clearly downing tools when you've got no idea whether they were downing tools or not. Maybe they were confused. Maybe they were just, frustrated. Maybe there was, no freedom to play. If you have a horse in a field on a lead rope and it's tied to a plank of wood in the middle, all it can do is go round and round in circles. If you take that lead rope off and get rid of that plank of wood and just let them run free in the field, they're going to go all over the place. They're going to be happy. They're in the confines of a field, but they've got the freedom within that field. And I think Pogba and many others at United under Mourinho, they were in that field, but they were on a lead rope and they were tied to a piece of wood. And they could only move around within the restrictions of where Mourinho would let them go. Under Ole, it's like, well, there's the whole field. Run around and do what you want to do. And you're going to see a totally different player because they're not restricted by the lead rope. So to say, they clearly down tools, I think it's idiocy. I mean, has this journalist ever played football in their life for a start? And I mean it at any level. Because if you've played football at any level and you've had any level of coaching, you will know that you don't go on a football pitch and express yourselves. You don't. Even Ole isn't saying do what you like, Pogba. He was saying when you get in these areas, do what you like, but there has to be a defensive responsibility. Every manager doesn't let you go on just play the free role. That doesn't happen. Even Messi, some people would say, well, Messi at Barcelona has a free role. He doesn't. He doesn't hang around the goal, does he? He still works as part of a team. When he's on the ball, he's got options. So these people who say, well, he down tools, you've got no idea. I've played for teams. I played for very good teams in my mid-teens, when I was still at school. And the difference in coaching was totally different. And some was just so drilled about when you get the ball, you got to be looking for this and the move and everything like that. Whereas some, like Sunday League football with all my mates, it was like go out and enjoy yourself, your centre midfield. There wasn't as much. And I think that's what people understand. To say a player is down tools is a very, very serious thing. And I think when you speak to most footballers, they would say, I don't think you ever willingly go out there. And as for like footballers downing tools, I mean, was it not Pogba and Martial who got us back into the Newcastle game when we were 2-0 down at half time? I know Mata scored the free kick, but that second goal got us back in the game, the brilliance between Pogba and Martial. If they'd really down tools, I'm sure they were listening to the news the night before, Mourinho's going to get the sack. There's their opportunity. Don't do these school moves, just let's go through the motions, and he's gone. Casper ID says top 4 enough to keep Ole. I personally think if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets top 4, he deserves a lot of credit because I think it's going to be very, very difficult. There's no margin for error. We're looking above and we're going, oh yeah, Arsenal dropped points. Oh, we've cut it from 11 to 8 with Chelsea. That's because we've won 2 games in a row. We've got to keep winning, and I think when we lose a game, reality's going to bite with people. I'm undecided whether we can get top 4. I think it's a massive, massive challenge to do it. I'm very excited about that challenge. I'm very excited about PSG, but I'm very realistic about the challenge. They're very big challenges for United. And I think at the moment, because we're winning, we're like, yeah, we're going to win. And as I say, Cardiff and Huddersfield, there's no guarantee we would have beat them under Mourinho, but a proper United team should be beating those. When we get Spurs in a couple of weeks, and when we get Newcastle next week, if we win those games, we're in business, because we're winning every week. But we've got to win every week. We cannot afford to drop points. Please do drop a like on the video, everybody. There's a lot of people watching. I hope that you are watching. I hope you are enjoying your festive break. I know some people will be back at work today, but the new year is coming. Lots coming up on the United stand. So please do subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. And I will be back at 8 o'clock tonight. I've sort of I only had about 6 hours sleep last night because I just kept drinking after the watch along. I didn't even watch Match of the Day. I was on the room, and I need to figure out the plan for the next few days. But Manchester United don't play till Sunday, and it's Thursday today. I'm sure a lot of you, like me, have sort of lost track of where we're at. But I presume there's an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer press conference tomorrow. We'll certainly get the preview done for you. I think I'll do the preview tomorrow. I know we normally do it on a Thursday, but I think I'll do it tomorrow. I want to do something else at 8 o'clock tonight. But Camage says, I think we'll see a different Lukaku. I certainly think we'll definitely see an improved Lukaku. Yeah, definitely. I do think we will see that. Liverpool top of the league by 6 points. Yep, we've spoken about that. Thank you. Football Manager. I will be doing Football Manager, Ryan James, and I will be doing FIFA, but not today. It's still very much family day for me. Still got lots of things going on, so I won't have the time to sit and play FIFA. I need to get to grips with Football Manager, but those streams will all be coming up very, very soon. Pochettino versus Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to be absolutely massive. That's mid-January. Really looking forward to that. But we just got to keep winning between then. Yeah, for sure. Please do get your comments in below. I really want to know what people think about top four. I mean, are you just in the buzz? Have you looked at the league table? Have you looked at the fixtures? Have you realised that it's an 8-point gap to Chelsea and their goal difference is absolutely massive compared to ours? Have you looked through the fixtures and seen how difficult it's going to be and where Chelsea are going to drop points and how we are going to keep winning every week? A 9-point gap is huge. It is huge. It's 3 losses for them. And we can't afford any. Just to get level, they've got to lose 3 times, and we've got to keep winning all of our games. It's going to be very, very difficult. So get in the comments below. Is top 4 realistic? I certainly think we've got to go for it, but we need Chelsea to start dropping some points quick. We really do. Palace need to do us a favour. Thanks everyone for watching. Back again at 8 o'clock tonight. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you later.